Do you know which Le Beau is the best for summer? I mean, they are all tropical scents made for summer, but they do develop in slightly different ways when it's warm, and some are better than others on a warm summer day. And in this video, we're going to break down 4 Le Beau fragrances: the original Le Beau Le Parfum, Le Beau Paradise Garden, and the latest Le Beau Flower Edition. I'm also going to share my thoughts on the performance and how to spray them. This is your quick guide to the best Gaultier Le Beau for summer. So let's start by taking a look at what they smell like. And let's start with the original Le Beau EDT. I've lost count on how many bottles I've been through, and it's definitely one of my go-tos when I want a tropical scent with coconut. Le Beau is basically a mix of freshness and sweetness with coconut and vanilla. You get citrusy freshness from bergamot, creamy vanillic sweetness from tonka, and intense coconut in a fresh, slightly ambery and sweet blend. That's sort of a core. Le Beau's signature scent DNA is based around sweet vanilla and coconut, and to me, the original Le Beau stands out in the line with the most intense dose of it, together with a prominent dose of citrusy freshness. I know some feel it's too sweet, but I like it, and it's really the contrast of intense sweetness and freshness with vanilla and coconut that makes it so good. Projection is really good, but only for about an hour, which is the reason why I recommend spraying more, as well as topping it up, especially if you're out for a longer period of time. I always bring an atomizer with me and apply a couple of sprays every hour or two when I'm out. The vibe of it is very casual, fun and flirty, and it's basically summer and sunshine in a bottle. Moving on to Le Beau Le Parfum. Le Beau Le Parfum to me is basically a primarily woody scent with sweet vanilla and coconut. You also get a dose of pineapple and ginger in the opening, which in a way sort of levels up the tropical vibe of it. A spicy, fresh and fruity opening with ginger and pineapple, and a woody, ambery and sweet dry down with vanilla and coconut. Just like the EDT, the Parfum has that signature DNA with the coconut and vanilla, but it has more layers and nuances to it, and it's also a bit warmer and less fresh than the original. This will give you a slightly different tropical vibe thanks to the pineapple, but one with less freshness to it compared to the EDT. And since it's so woody, you also get a bit less of that fantastic coconut that the original has. To me, the Parfum stands out in the line with its rich woodiness and its more complex and slightly warmer scent. The performance is definitely the best in the line, but one thing to remember is that Le Beau Le Parfum is also a bit less fresh than the others, and it also has a bit more depth to it compared to the others. I usually don't feel the need to top this one up. Anywhere from 4 to 10 sprays usually last, unless I'm out for a longer period of time when I might spray once or twice to top it up after some time. The woodiness and richer scent gives it a slightly more mature and in a way refined vibe, and I think it's perfect for date nights and going out, but it can of course be used for other occasions. Moving on to Le Beau Paradise Garden. Paradise Garden keeps the vanilla coconut combo from Le Beau, but changes its citrusy freshness to a more intensely green, aquatic and minty one. And it almost feels like there's a bit of the woodiness from Le Beau Le Parfum in the dry down. Paradise Garden is Le Beau made greener and even fresher with a less intense dose of sweetness and vanilla. The freshness is different compared to the original, and it's also a more nuanced scent compared to the original. Mint makes the green and aquatic freshness of it really pop. There's a salty touch to the whole thing, and fig adds even more nuance to it all. Overall, I think Paradise Garden is the most sort of a balanced one in the line. It's still very much focused on coconut and vanilla, but the intense freshness of it and its woodiness brings balance to the whole thing. To me, Paradise Garden stands out in the line as the most intensely fresh Le Beau, with a nuanced dose of freshness and a gorgeous dose of coconut and vanilla. Performance on my skin is actually pretty good, and sometimes the longevity is through the roof. I usually spray between 6 to 10 times with Paradise Garden, and top it up after a few hours if I'm out in the sun on a warm day. Gaultier basically bottle up the feeling of summertime adventure with Le Beau Paradise Garden, and to me this is very much a casual, happy summer days kind of scent. I know some feel Paradise is very similar to Kenzo or Marine, and there are some similarities but also some clear differences. So Le Beau Flower Edition is the one I feel went in a very different direction. This has actually developed a bit since I bought it, and it smells a bit different now. I still feel it's dominated by violet leaf, but nowadays I can pick up on at least a little bit of that signature tonka bean, but there's no coconut. Flower Edition opens up citrusy fresh, but quickly becomes dominated by violet leaf. The dry down on my skin is a combination of a floral kind of freshness, soft tonka and soft woodiness, and the whole thing is softly powdery. So mostly violet and soft woodiness in the dry down. Even though I pick up on a very soft tonka, it's pushed so far into the background, and there's no coconut in here, which really pulls this away from the line's sort of a signature scent DNA. I actually like it. It's so different from most of the fragrances I have in my collection, and it has developed for the better better with a bit of usage. It feels like it has become at least a little bit more nuanced the more I've used it. It's still, however, very much dominated by the violet, so if you dislike that, you're not going to enjoy this at all. And violet is one of those notes that are very polarizing. You either love or hate that scent. Le Beau Flower Edition has a different kind of freshness compared to the others. It is citrusy in the opening, but less so than the EDT, and its citrusy freshness doesn't last long. And it really doesn't have the same kind of aquatic and green freshness of Le Beau Paradise Garden. So while this is a bit fresh, the floral side of it makes it feel a bit different. It doesn't give me the same kind of fresh vibe as Paradise Garden. Hard to explain. Let me know in the comments if you get what I'm trying to say. The violet adds such a twist to this scent, and I think it's for someone who wants something that's very different, not only from the other Le Beaus, but also from a lot of other men's fragrances. This stays on my skin for quite some time, and it gets easily noticed at least for the first couple of hours or so, before becoming a more intimate scent. I usually spray between 5 to 7 times, and I usually do not top this one up, mostly because I often spray something else on once it wears off. So now that we've gone through what they smell like, it's time to share my thoughts on the best ones for summer. Since 3 of them are based on the signature Le Beau scent DNA, and since Flower Edition moves away from it, my answer is going to be a newest one. My least favorite for summer days is Le Beau Flower Edition, for the reason of the vibe I get from the violet and the drawdown, which is mostly violet and soft woodiness. I like the scent and it does have a bit of freshness to it, but it's really not the first scent I think of spraying on a warm summer day. And it just doesn't give me that fantastic Le Beau vibe that I get from the others. Next up comes Le Beau Le Parfum, but for summer nights. I've mentioned this a lot when I talked about the Parfum. It's less fresh and sort of a richer scent makes it a lot better for summer nights. And it's a fantastic one to wear if you're out on a summer night. So the original Le Beau and Paradise Garden are the best ones for summer, but here comes a bit more nuance. Both of these are absolutely perfect for warm summer days, but for maximum freshness, it's definitely Paradise Garden. It's simply more fresh and refreshing, less sweet, and the one to go for if you want something that's more balanced. However, the way the more coconutty intense and sweet vanillic Le Beau develops in warm weather is absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's less fresh, but there's something absolutely amazing about its sweetness that makes it smell intoxicating when it's warm. So my recommendation is this: Paradise Garden if you want coconut and vanilla in a more intensely fresh and more balanced blend. The original if you want that epic coconut and vanilla duo with a different kind of freshness in a blend that's more coconutty and sweet. So there you go. Now I really want to know which of these you think smells best in warm weather. Like and subscribe for more. Check out my other videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.